very good day from our new MS Now World Headquarters here in the heart of Times Square. We have a new name, new location, same mission as we bring you into the new studios here. Welcome everyone to our inaugural hour of Alex Witt Reports on MS Now. We begin with new fallout on the Epstein files. Politico, citing 3 sources, says House Republicans are planning a vote Tuesday on legislation to force the release of federal files. Now, that is the same day Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene plans to join Republican Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna for a press event at the Capitol with Epstein survivors. President Trump today is lashing out against Greene after she publicly campaigned against his position on releasing the files.
I've talked to many of the women, and the women themselves have said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. And even their attorney said that Donald Trump was the only one that helped them. So I'll just being very honest with you, it's something that I don't understand. I think it's a huge miscalculation.
Some of the Republicans want this information to be public. They want to know who is responsible, who should be held accountable. The more the White House lets this drip, 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 the more they're going to wish they had just, released things.
Now, Trump followed this with a declaration he's withdrawing support for Greene, describing her as wacky and saying people are considering primary runs against her. Friday, he also addressed her calls for release of the Epstein files.
Does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a point?
Does she have a point, though?
I know nothing about her.
On the release of the files, all the files.
Well, they can have whatever they want. They already do. I think they have 50,000 pages already. Look, this is a Democrat hoax. This is a hoax put out by the Democrat, and a few Republicans have gone along with it because they're weak and ineffective.
Greene is firing back on social media, saying she is now bombarded with death threats after the president's public attack. Also new today, President Trump pulling back on tariffs to address the affordability question.
We'll get the price down, but they're not competitive in this country, like tomatoes and bananas. We just did a little bit of a rollback on some foods, like coffee, as an example, where the prices of coffee were a little bit high. Now they'll be on the low side in a very short period of time.
And new details from the House Minority Leader on how Democrats plan to get past GOP opposition to extending Affordable Care Act tax credits.
Mike Johnson and the Republicans, particularly the leadership, they continue to bury their heads in the sand. They were on a taxpayer-funded vacation for 7+ weeks. These people are obsessed with ripping health care away from the American people, which is why we're going to go around them in terms of this discharge petition effort to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years, just like we're going around them now to trigger a vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files.
We have reporters and analysts in place covering all of these new and developing storylines, starting with MS Now White House reporter Jake Traylor. So, Jake, welcome to you. Lots of new reaction from President Trump as the battle to release the Epstein files is heating up. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Alex, Donald Trump, he has tried to extinguish this self-started fire that is the Epstein files over the past few months. And the newest flame that he is now facing is, as you said, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, this is a fervent to agree on anything. They want to see the release of this. Trump doesn't. White House officials know his argument is not working with the American people. Yep,
those stats make it a shake for that. And new calls to put politics aside as Epstein survivors prepare for Tuesday's media event with Democrat Ro Khanna and Republicans Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Lawyers and family members are calling on members of Congress to do right by the women.
I am here to say that there is even more, a lot more, and that's going to be photographs and video evidence of who was inside of the homes and what they were doing when they were there.
Republican and Democrats, we are trusting you to do the right thing by us and protect survivors. Survivors don't care, and they didn't care when they were being abused, whether someone was a Republican or a Democrat. They don't care. We don't care. The American public do not care which party you fall on. If you are implicated in these heinous acts, it must come to light. We must do better.
Let's bring in Haley Fuchs, congressional reporter of Politico, and Dave Ehrenberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, where Epstein was first investigated back in 2005. Welcome to you both. So, Haley, is there appetite in Congress to put politics aside on this issue?
Thanks so much for having me, Alex. I think what's really notable is we expect scores of Republicans to vote to release the Epstein files next week. And so we really, in some ways, are going
Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member, ever. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Gillen to stop. So White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reacted, saying the emails proved nothing other than the president did nothing wrong. Epstein had little to lose when he wrote this. So should it be seen as just some kind of a wild, unsubstantiated allegation, or is there some there?
Alex, there is some talk around here that the real reason why Epstein was banished from Mar-a-Lago is because he was hitting on a Mar-a-Lago member's underage girl. Epstein is reacting to that by saying he was never a member of Mar-a-Lago. So how?
Okay. I want to thank you both, Haley and Dave. Appreciate your time with us. And joining me right now, we have Megan Hayes, former special assistant to President Biden, and Annalise Keller, Republican strategist and former communications director to Senator Cory Gardner. So welcome to you both.
Don't care who's in the files. They are trying to protect. They see that this is protecting pedophiles to not release the files. So this is just another tactic to delay and to turn away from what's really out there.
And Trump's point about wanting things to stop, wanting to change the conversation, make this about what Republicans have been able to accomplish. The drip, drip, drip of information around the Epstein files is the exact.
Okay. That was just a start for both of you. Stay with me, please, because we are going to talk about the long fight ahead over Affordable Care Act subsidies. But first, President Trump makes a new promise about Venezuela. And if you dig for the details, you are not going to find much. We're back in 90 seconds. New today, President Trump saying he's sort of made up his mind when it comes to military action in Venezuela. America's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, will soon be within striking distance of the country. Dozens have been killed in recent months in military attacks against boats allegedly carrying illegal narcotics in the Caribbean. So far, the president has been vague about what other action he plans to take. Joining me now, MS Now Pentagon reporter Priya Sridhar. So Priya, welcome. The president has said that he's open to also striking Venezuela on land, and now the military is moving closer. What do we know for sure?
Yeah, Alex, I've been saying that this is the $8.5 million question because that's how much it costs to deploy a carrier strike group every single day. And as you mentioned, we've seen an unprecedented, massive military buildup.
President Trump's new move to lower food prices, why he's suddenly so concerned, plus new insight into Trump's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. New indications President Trump is feeling the heat over his low grades on handling the economy and Democrats' Election Day big victories.
Even lower.
And joining me now is Bloomberg senior executive editor and our friend Tim O'Brien. Welcome, Tim. So here's a programming note for all of you. Michael Cohen will be with us later to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein case and the new Washington Post article about his 2019 House testimony that is coming your way at 3 Eastern here on MS Now. Meantime, adding up the damage from the government shutdown and how much it hurt Republicans. Next. The rift between President Trump and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is going far beyond the Epstein investigation. She's also criticizing the White House for not focusing on affordability. Here's what she told former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer on his podcast. Megan Hayes and Annalise Keller are back with me. So, Megan, isn't that the very same issue President Biden battled? I mean, do Trump and Republicans, do they need to learn? So it might surprise you what Democrat House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is saying about some Republicans and the Affordable Care Act, and he said it just a short time ago. House lawmakers returned to Capitol Hill Monday after being largely absent during the longest government shutdown in America. Congresswoman Shontel Brown, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Also in our next hour, we will talk with Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury of the Oversight Committee about the Democratic fury over the shutdown fix and the president calling Jeffrey Epstein the Democrats' problem.